Hi everyone, welcome to Harper Broadcast. I'm Anushka, and today we are in conversation with Priyanka Pandya Bhatt, who is the author of this amazing new children's graphic novel, When Mummy Had Cancer, brilliantly illustrated by Debasmita Dasgupta. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm extremely excited to be delving into this conversation with you. I believe that the book that you have written is an extremely urgent and prescient topic, and more people should familiarize themselves and the children of their family with a topic which is as pressing as this one. So, thank you again for doing this conversation with us. And since this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month that is going on right now, I believe the conversation that we'll be having today can actually acquaint a lot more people with a topic which is as urgent as this. So, first of all, I'd just like to say that what a brilliant book that you've come up with. When I was reading it through the amalgamation of the illustrations that Debasmita has done amazing, by the way, and through the narration of the story, I could actually feel the fear and the anxieties and all the emotions that a child might be going through. So kudos to you for having written that book. I feel like we do not exactly have a lot of books which deal with issues and topics such as these in children's literature. So I feel like more and more people should be reading this book and acquainting their children with this book. So yeah, let's dive right into the conversation. Yeah. Okay. So when I was first reading the book, and then I actually came across this interview of yours with the Indian Express, wherein you had mentioned that what inspired you to write this book was that you wanted more and more children, like your own daughter, who was 4 at the time when you were diagnosed with cancer, to actually go through those emotions. And you also wrote that who will tell your children if not you yourself? So could you actually give us more insights into how this inspiration came to be? I mean, obviously, this was a stemming point, but then how did it emerge after that? And what made you decide to write this book finally?
It's, when I was first told about my diagnosis, the forefront of my mind was children, what's going to happen? Because yes, medicine has transformed, but those emotions that you go through, they're never going to change. And what's important to you, of course, that's not going to change either. And for me, having two young children, that was very important to me, and to know and to understand what the next steps are going to be and what part do they play in, because they're my family. Whatever we do it together. Um, and I think without a second thought, our first instinct was to tell them what was going on, because I think that's fair
Yeah.
for them to know what's happening in a house that they also live in. This is also their home. This is their safe space. And to not know what's happening and to go through those changes, it's very unfair, even though they were just 2 and 4. So it was then trying to find a way to tell them at an age appropriate level. And we were able to do so with the support from my breast care nurses from the hospital. And then as time went on, it was adapting to the new changes
Yeah.
and ensuring that they understood what was going on. But I also realized it wasn't just the process which was affecting them, it was the emotions. And it's emotions that aren't spoken about, because it is scary for adults. So
Absolutely.
if it's scary enough for us, imagine how it is for a little child who still can't vocalize their feelings, and
Yeah.
it's just not fair.
Right. That makes so much sense. And one of the things that you just said particularly stood out to me is that how it's a home for them as well. And it's their family too. So they need to be aware of what is happening with the members of the family that they so dearly love. So, yeah, that was a great answer, Priyanka. That brings me to my second question. What made you decide to tell this story through this particular format? Like, the book is in a combination of illustrations and such a poignant narration. So, how did you come up with this particular format that you wanted to tell the story in?
It was all due to my daughter. It was watching her go through this turmoil and not understand
Yeah.
what was going on and what to do with those feelings. And I thought, we can't be the only family going through this. Surely there's lots more people who are having these same problems and not knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I'm early years trained. So it's the way we question the children that we get a lot of answers out from them. And with my daughter, she's very bright, she's very intuitive to her emotions, but she knew she couldn't, or she felt she couldn't come to us, seeing how much we were going through. And we'd said to her from the start that whatever you want to say, whatever you're feeling, you need to come to us. But she felt like she was being a burden. So she was keeping those emotions bottled up, and then it will just explode after she'd come home from school, because she soon came to realize that her school wasn't that safe space either anymore, which was also an issue. But for a 4-year-old, these were huge emotions to be going through and not knowing what to do with those. So by writing this book, it's helping a family start those conversations, because that's the hardest part.
Yeah,
and it doesn't need to be an elaborate question. It just needs to be a simple question.
Yeah, that's so true. Absolutely. And Priyanka, so as I mentioned towards the beginning of our conversation as well, this is such an urgent and important topic of conversation. And now that you've written the book, what do you hope this book does in terms of amplifying this conversation and actually bringing it to the masses and the people who should be aware of it, to actually compel them and prompt them to familiarize their children and members of their family with a topic as important as this?
Cancer's been a very hush-hush, taboo subject, not just in the South Asian community, but I think it is a worldwide issue. And when it comes to children, it's sort of, oh no, we can't tell them. We need to protect them. What are we protecting them from? When cancer is spreading, it's becoming quite prevalent in the life we live, in the world that we live in. We shouldn't be shielding our children from it.
Yeah.
Yes, they don't need to know all the details, but they need to know the basics so that they
Absolutely.
can understand what's happening. They can show empathy. And it's allowing families to have these open conversations. Yes, they're hard, but they need to be had. We talk about so many other things that are happening around in the world, be it substance abuse, sex education. So why not cancer? Why is it such a taboo subject?
Absolutely, yes.
We're not at fault here of what happens, but we can talk about it and make it come across that we're in it together and we can help each other.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
That's absolutely right. Priyanka, I also must say that the illustrations in the book are beautiful. I mean, the way that Debasmita has captured everything through particular colors and hues and tones, it's wonderful. So I must ask, what was the collaborative process like between the two of us? What were the? I'm so interested to know actually the conversation that you were having internally between the both of you, and especially you as the author of the book. Did you have any notes on how Debasmita should portray a particular illustration in highlighting or conveying a message that you had?
I think she understood the manuscript to the T, and
Yeah.
she understood the brief.
Hmm.
And I don't think we needed much dialogue. She had some pictures of my family to understand what the dynamics are of
Hmm.
the family. But the rest was all her. And what she portrays is child can pick up this book
Yeah.
and look through it. And even if they can't read, they can see in the pictures that this is
Yeah.
what this child is feeling. And it's okay for me to also feel this way. And I
Yeah.
think she's done a fabulous job of doing so.
Yeah. I mean, the resonance I feel is absolutely amazing. The way that it has been captured in the book, both through the illustrations and the text. So it's a wonderful collaboration in the way that it has worked out. So the next question that I want to ask you is that what is one message that you have for all the families who might be going through a difficult time in terms of a loved one getting diagnosed with an illness like cancer? And do you also maybe have a message in terms of your book in how it can amplify this or how it can help children, especially, resolve their feelings and make sense of them?
My message would be to say you're not alone. And I think one thing we're lucky being part of a South Asian community is having a family that always stands by us.
Yeah.
Um, if you don't want to seek support from outside communities, you have your family to lean on,
Yeah.
and they are your biggest strength. So use them, because you know that they will be standing at your front doorstep with just a call. Um, and that is what's going to get you through this tough time, is having
Yeah.
those people around you. It just makes this journey that little bit more easier.
Yeah. True. I mean, I think families are the most important thing for everybody. And as you mentioned, in South Asian communities, especially, people are there for each other. Family members are there for each other. So it's a great thing. And that brings us to the end of our conversation. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for having this talk with us. I think our Harper Broadcast audience would absolutely appreciate the message of the book, the fact that you've taken out the time to write it on such an urgent issue, and this conversation as well. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I gained so many insights into the making of the book, into your own journey, and I just feel like this is a book everyone should read, every child especially should read. So thank you so much for having written it, and thank you for our lovely conversation.
Thank you so much.